Is anybody out there?
Marc Radcliffe. 1FM. Oh, yes.
You've got some interesting statistics about the festival, have you, to regale people with?
I have, yeah. I've been doing some research.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and over 6 industrial-sized toilet rolls will be used over the weekend.
For goodness sake. I mean, we've already said it's just a cliche to talk about the top.
All right, okay, all right, fairly dues. This is incredible, this. Over 40 beef burger buns will be consumed.
Well, of course, that's obvious, isn't it? I was like, 100,000 people here, more than 40 beef burger buns are going to be eaten.
Well, you know, it's not obvious to me.
Well,
I took a lot of research, that. You scoff at everything I do, you know.
Well, you just stand by a burger stall and count 40 being sold?
Yeah.
Well, it's true.
It's true, isn't it? I mean, you can't say it's not true.
It's not true, but
it's better than the rubbish you come out with.
It's just supposed to be interesting, isn't it? It's supposed to be interesting, but no, it's rubbish. Have you got any others?
Well, what, off the top of my head?
Oh, God, yes, off the top of your head. Interesting statistics about the festival, Mark.
Let's have a look. The smallest pub in Great Britain is
not
the 17th century The Nutshell, Bury St Edmunds, Suffolk, with a maximum dimension
Yeah,
of
I'm not
15
interested
foot.
in that. About the Glastonbury Festival. Go on. You haven't, have you?
I haven't.
You haven't. It's, you know, why didn't you just stay at home, like I said? It's pathetic.
See you again.
Right,
Why didn't you let me do my routine? Ho-ho! See you again. Fancy a brew? See? It was worth me coming.
What happened to all your new material?
Well, I thought it was a bit... Actually, it didn't work, did it?
No,
it was crap, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
So, arse.
Strangely enough.
I can always fall back on me arse.
Nice to have some golden holders, isn't it?
Ho-ho!
Right. Yeah, okay.
Fancy a brew?
Thank you. Shut up. Right, okay.
See you again.
Right, we're going to have the Troggs on very shortly, and they're now back in the news, #1 record, and all because of this type thing. Now, don't go talking over this, because it's wet.
Is it?
Oh,
it's
great.
I love it. I bought 2
So
copies.
where do you get all them statistics from?
It's 1979, Guinness Book of Records.
Where did you get that?
That Marty Pillow, he's nice, isn't he?
I like wet, but I'd never admit it on the air.
No.
It's a good record, though.
You would, wouldn't you, Marty Pillow?
What? Hey, you would.
I would.
I tell you what.
Probably have, actually.
I tell you what. The Troggs, of course, and Love Is All Around. A bit of wet before that. The Troggs are playing for us tonight. Reg Presley is here.
Hi, Mark.
Hi. Do you get sick? I mean, you must have mixed feelings about the song, because you're just saying you get a bit tired of your version, but it's going to make you £1 million.
No, the thing is, I mean, I hear my version, I sing our version, and I suppose I'm very used to our versions. So for me, it's very refreshing to hear Wet's version.
Yeah, I think it's the other way around for a lot of people. You know, a lot of like the 1FM audience probably never heard your version.
Maybe.
So listen, I mean, the interesting thing is you're going to make all this money. You are going to make a substantial amount of money. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be at least £500,000.
Yeah, I was working on a little bit more than that.
Well, I know, I said at least definitely. But you are deciding to spend it on crop circle research.
Of course, I wouldn't spend it all on that,
No,
but I would be prepared for anything that is needed to carry this thing forward if it's desperate.
So when did this interest start? And someone called it an obsession.
Yeah, it started for me in 1990 when I walked into the first one, and I had to get near people who knew more about it. And I got very friendly with Colin Andrews, who's been studying it since 1983.
The co-author of Circular Evidence.
Circular Evidence, yeah.
We got this morning in Bookshop in Wells, actually. It was quite sad, really.
That's right.
Reduced from £9.99 to £6.65, and now £3.25.
Yeah,
so
right.
it's a bargain.
Well, it's sort of old news now, but I mean, it started everything going, and also there's so many circles on there that they're now working on, and the scientists, Professor Gerard Hawkins, is actually working on a theory now from all those original circles, and it's becoming very interesting.
So what are they? I mean, obviously, like, some were dismissed as hoaxes, and some were hoaxes. And
That's right.
And some have not been dismissed as hoaxes and cannot.
There's about 85% last year, I think, were hoaxes. I just want to know who's making the others,
I mean, are you convinced it is a sign of, alien life forms?
It's looking very much that way. When I sat in at the UN meeting that they had last year in October, the Japanese actually stood up and asked when the Americans were going to come forward and let them know when they're going to release their information about the UFOs.
Because there is supposed to be a big hangar in the desert. I think in the Mojave Desert. Is it in
Roswell in New Mexico.
Yeah,
There's
right.
a hangar. There's 11 actually, and a guy called Rob Lazar, who is a scientist, has worked in 4 UFOs. Now, they say he never worked there, but what they didn't realise is that we've got an old telephone directory, and he's listed as working there.
Have we got any of these sort of, strange encampments in this country? Is there anything being kept secret here?
I think with John Major, if the Americans say jump, he asks how high. So I think he's towing the line on anything that he knows. But yes, we have information in this country. And if you read some of the reports that I saw up in London when I went to investigate the newfound release of all the old UFO cuttings. I mean, somebody writes in and says that something hovered outside my window last night and then sped away at 4,000 miles an hour. And the answer that they receive is, it was probably Jupiter.
Right.
You know, it's just not on, you know.
I mean, you talked about John Major there, because wasn't there a huge penis appeared in the fields near Chequers?
That's right, very close to his home, and I'm wondering how...
The great knob of Chequers. And
That's right. But I'm wondering how they ever got to do that if it was a hoax, because they've got guards around there, surely with the IRA threat. How did they actually get in to do that?
Shall I tell you my theory on all this, Reg? And you can discount it if you like. But I think it's a hoax perpetuated by aliens. I think they come down in flying saucers, park on the road, get out with a rope and a plank, and make them.
Yeah.
So, it is proof of alien life forms, I think.
Yeah, well, anything's possible at the moment.
Are they messages?
It looks as though it's going to be that way, but... It's still a lot of work to do, and we need more scientists to stick their neck on the block and be honest about their findings.
I mean, so, of course, not a problem for you necessarily, but a lot of people do sort of dismiss you as a nutter on this, don't they? There was an article in the Observer.
Well, they do anybody that says that there could be UFOs, but the people that actually say that don't put themselves into any research.
No, I know. But I mean, this guy was talking to you in the Observer magazine, and there's a great quote. Your initial reaction is that Reg Presley is a man who is not just on the road to madness, but has arrived there, bought a house, and is renting out rooms.
Brilliant.
I think it's a great line.
Brilliant.
Listen, we're going to have a live song from you and your band, the Troggs.
Yeah, right.
Probably just as well. And we've got to play a clip of this legendary tape, for the Troggs tapes. Now, for people who don't know this is a kind of recording made of you and the band recording at your height, in your heyday.
Yeah. But we were asked to go in there. We had a contract to complete, and they asked us to go in when we weren't ready to go in. Right. And you must honour the contract and come in. So we weren't ready. And normally all our arguments started in a garage, and we got the whole thing together in a garage, then go in the studio, But it all came out in the studio, and it was such hilarious. I mean, I didn't hear it until 8 months after it was done.
Right. I mean, you still can get this on a record if you go around the record fairs.
Right.
It's changing hands for big money. Quite right. It's one of the most entertaining records ever made. So we'll get outside while this is being played. We'll have the Troggs playing live after this. But here is some carefully edited highlights of the Troggs tapes.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're doing it f***ing wrong. Dabba 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 cha, dabba 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 cha, dabba 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 cha, dabba dabba. You did it in the beginning. Bloody hell, I can't play with that. Hey? Well, you're f***ing doing it! Why don't you just do what you f***ing started out doing? Dabba 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 cha. On your top one, dabba 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 cha. Dabba 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 cha. No! All right, I play that. I'm going... Ronnie, can you hear me? Yeah. What about trying it, not on that top, just on that top skin floor, and then your floor tom-tom, but try it on, split your hands, so that one beat is doing it on the top drum, one's doing it on the floor tom-tom, then your bass.
drummer, I shit him.
The Troggs tapes brings back fond memories. That's how to make a hit record, isn't it? Did it ever get finished, that one, Reg?
No, and believe it or not, it was going to be called Tranquility.
Anyway, introduce us to the rest of the band there.
This is Chris.
Hello.
Lead guitarist Chris Britton, and Peter Lucas.
Right, okay.
He's our bass player, actually, but tonight he's got a acoustic in his hand.
Right.
You know.
Formerly of Dave D, Beaky Mick and... Is that
Long
right?
time ago, yeah.
I don't know that I don't up to it, but I suppose you're right.
Which one were you?
Well, sort of a Mick, really.
All right. And you were actually there, Chris, weren't you, on that recording, the Troggs tape, sat at the back,
hovering in the background.
Right, yeah, okay. Anyway, Reg, what are you going to play for us? As if I didn't know, with your ocarina in your hand.
Yeah, it's my little submarine. Can anybody tell me what this is, yeah?
I thought it was an alien ring.
Yeah, right. It doesn't glow, come on.
Oh, no.
Right, what are you going to play for us?
We're going to do an oldie called Wild Thing.
Right, yes, the Troggs and Wild Thing.
Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything wild thing. Wild thing, I think I love you, but I wanna know for sure. So come on and hold me tight. I love you. Wild thing, you make my heart sing. You make everything wild thing. Wild thing, I think you move me, but I wanna know for sure. So come on and hold me tight. You move me. Come on, wild thing. Shake it, wild thing.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Brilliant. There's a lot of people go home from Glastonbury. Whatever happens over the next 3 days, there'll be a lot of people go home from Glastonbury very happy, knowing that they've seen the Troggs do wild things. So it's a jaw wobble. Jar Wobbles, Invaders of the Heart, The Sun Does Rise from Take Me to God. They're on Saturday morning at 11:45. It's like, that's the weird thing about festivals, that people are on at really strange times of the day, Katie.
At very strange times of the day, Mark.
Are you a veteran of pop festivals? I mean, tell me about...
Are you kidding? I'm a complete tenderfoot. I thought I made that clear to you.
Well, about Glastonbury, yeah, but you know, we all know about the sort of legendary American festival and Woodstocks and that. Is the festival still a part of your American teenager's summer?
No, I never partook of any of that because I was one of these people that just snuck off in the dead of night to catch the last bus into the local big town and see some sort of, I don't know, unhygienic bunch strutting their stuff.
But are there still loads of festivals like, there's Glastonbury and Reading and Phoenix and everything?
There's the
Are there a lot of these?
Lollapalooza thing. You're actually trying to poke me on a subject that I know nothing about and have no interest in.
Okay, well, fine.
I mean, there's just too many portaloos around for my liking. In fact, I think we're inside one at the moment.
Well, it's very salubrious, isn't it? Yeah, it's a BBC Nissan hut on wheels. But so what are some of the acts that have taken your eye that you're going to go and see?
I was perusing the program here, and I'm looking at. I mean, of course, we all know about the big people, the big cheeses like Bjork and Paul Weller and Elvis Costello and I don't know, all those people. But I'm looking at there's a green field stage, and I noticed that there's some sort of workshop / symposium called Tree of Life. Experience yourself as a tree and write.
So you're going to try it?
Well, possibly, although it's on at the same time as something else called Understanding Your Horoscope Symbols, which caught my eye. But there was something else here about, yes. Oh, yeah, here it is. Also on the Greenfield stage, do you want to write a poem about the Beatles?
No.
Well, that's the
a short section,
thing.
That one then, is it?
But there's also a section here on sex, and apparently it says that if you show up and you're pregnant, you're meant to let somebody know. Because they can get a midwife in.
If you leave and you're pregnant, you should.
Well, it says if you don't want to be pregnant, avoid unprotected sex. So they
good
really,
tip, eh? Good tip. So you have to come to a workshop at Glastonbury to learn that, do you?
Well, that's not in the workshop. That's just in the program. It gives you information on drugs, sex. I mean, hygiene. What else more do you need?
Have you been out people watching?
I've been out. I'm kind of a people person, Mark, and I've noticed a few curious sorts. I mean, we've got the sort of Greg Allman types. There's just a whole proliferation of Jesuses, Jesse Jesuses with loincloths. And I know it's getting a little hot. It's getting high in the mercury, but there's no excuse for loincloths, I think, ever.
I've not seen anybody. Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about loincloths.
Is there a loincloth shop, and then you can wear it as a loincloth and then use it as a chamois to do the chivette when you get home, you see.
Possibly, because it's got that special sauce on it by the time you do get it home. Right. But I've seen lots of things like tie-dyed bibs for children. There's a proliferation of tie-dye. I haven't seen too much macrame, though.
No.
I've seen a lot of sort of three-way bongs, four-leaf clovers. There's somebody sitting on the side of the road selling four-leaf clovers, a pound a clover.
Gosh, I wonder how long it took them to collect those. A pound of clover, I don't know whether that's a good deal or not, really, is it?
I just wanted to say to you, Mark, that this is the first time I've ever seen a DJ with a roadie. You've actually got a roadie following you around, shuffling your cable out behind you. As you walk around.
Yeah, so that's Paul, one of our highly skilled technical operatives.
Sponging your forehead
off. What it is that DJs usually strapped into a chair and they're sort of mouth wiped before they do a show. And they're let out actually into a field. They trip over things, everything goes horribly wrong, you see. And so
you've been acquitting yourself nicely.
Oh, well, there you go. So I'll just tell you what's on, apart from this show, on Radio 1 over the next few days from Glastonbury. Tomorrow night, John Peel will be doing his show live here at 10. I always say John Peel like John Peel. John Peel. That was it, John Peel. And John Peel will be here tomorrow night. On Saturday afternoon, Johnny Walker. And then on Sunday, there's Annie Nightingale's doing the Chill Out Zone, 3 till 5 in the morning. And Mark Kermode is, of course, doing his Sights, Sounds and Smells of Glastonbury documentary at 7 o'clock on Sunday evening. We're going to have a poem from Joolz very shortly. But someone else who's put a different slant on pop festivals and Glastonbury in particular is our resident correspondent, Cyril Dorricott, who now presents his special report, The Pathological Glastonbury.
Yes, it's the biggest gathering of scumbags and wasters in modern times. It's the Buckingham Palace Garden Party. Only joking, Bob. It is, in fact, Glastonbury Festival, an annual event which takes place every other year. Is that right? For 51 weeks of the year, cows come into this field and, well, shit in it. And for the remaining week, over 80,000 people take over the same field and, well, shit in it. It's absolutely bereft of any of the trappings of civilization. Men and women use the same water closet. There are no cloakrooms, no bellboys, no red boys, and free love abounds. Prefer paying for it myself. Intrigued and a little wary, I have ventured into deepest, crusty country to take a step into the world of rock festival. festivals. Anyone up for a shoe shine? Well, here I am, and it looks like a scene from Plague of the Bloody Zombies and smells like a sewage farm. And all for £50 a weekend. Hip hip hooray! I've never seen so many mud-covered zombies with bare genitalia and goatskin drums since my school reunion. Ah, here's a mud-covered zombie with bare genitalia and a goatskin drum now. Don't I know you?
No.
Oh, well, would you mind telling me exactly why you are here?
Yeah, man, well, actually, I'm a journalist. I'm the Guardian's festival correspondent.
Ah, so why do you think all of these things attend this non-event?
Man, I'm not really sure. It might be for all the best live bands in the world, the Sunshine, or the Ganja, or Spiritual Oneness, or most likely the rampant shagging in all the tents.
So there you have it, Glastonbury. A great chance to meet 80,000 left-wing journalists and have a shit in an old beer barrel. Same thing if you ask me. That's all for now.
Dixie Drugstore by Grant Lee Buffalo from the album Fuzzy, and they're on Saturday lunchtime on the main stage. I keep saying, I don't know why I do this really, do you? Just because I'm saying when people are on, you know, and if you're not coming, it doesn't matter when they're on, and if you're already here, you know when they're on.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it gives everybody else, like, listening that moment when they can be deeply jealous at work.
Do you think so?
Really, yes.
Oh, anyway.
Like all the people that couldn't come from Bradford that I was supposed to say hello to. Hello.
Oh, right.
Hello.
Right. And a few
Hello.
of them. I think a lot of people, actually, every time you come here, people say, yeah, it's great, but it's too expensive, you know.
It is really expensive, yes, it is. It's
65 quid,
yeah.
I think.
I mean, it's not just that, it's also the getting down there and getting back that's expensive.
Yeah.
But I think the whole thing about this festival is it's incredibly important that people have this kind of event to go to, because it's a sort of spiritual unlacing of the corsets.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have, like, if you've got to live in straight society, there's got to be a time when you can let your hair down and just wear mad clothes and just be happy.
I think that is right. You know, I mean, I'm as cynical as anybody. I pride myself on this. You know, and I mean, I came down here last year for the first time prepared to, like, completely dismiss the whole thing, and was totally seduced by it within about 24 hours, and the same thing has just happened to Mark Kermode.
No, you do. That's what happens. I mean, I take the mickey out of it all the time. Every year I get up on stage and go, well, why are we all here? I mean, you know, well, it's not mention the toilets and the you know, the shopping and all the rest of it, but it does fulfil a function. I mean, humanity is very tribal, and they need festivals, they need fairs, they need to know that there's other people out there like themselves. They need a sense of unity. And even if they come down here and, like, they row with a girlfriend, a boyfriend, or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's got them out of their normal lives for 3 days, and it's good that it is only 3 days.
Yeah.
Because it's that sense of transience, you know, that it's going, that it's not going to be forever, but they can have this mad release.
Yeah.
They should have 2 a year.
Well, I mean, like, you've been, quite a few times, 9 or 10?
Yeah, about 9 or 10 a year.
I mean, like, I've been twice, and it's always been beautiful weather, and that helps. Now, have you ever been when have you ever been sleeping in the mud?
To my knees in mud.
And does it change? Does people still feel as kind of chilled out and as
well, it's
calm?
pretty chilled out, because there was a brilliant woman. It really did rain one year, and this hippie, like, he fell face forward, you know, into the mud, and they all stood around. He was drowning, and they all stood around going, "Oh wow, Nigel's having a bit of, like, a heavy scene, you know. Should we help him?" "No, I think it's what he wants, you know." He's like, we had to, like, drag him out by his vest. And he's like, "Thank you, because I was having a heavy trip. I thought I was drowning." I said, "You were drowning, you stupid fuck." It's like, and all his mates going, "You interfered with him, fascist bitch."
Oh, right.
You know, so
Like that
I should let him die. It'd be one less crusty, wouldn't it?
The voice of tolerance. What are you going to read? You're going to read something for us.
Yes.
You've chosen
Yes,
to suit
I've
the
chosen
moment.
to suit the moment. It's called Prayer.
Right.
In the distance, the siren's stuttering wolf howl shudders through the dark. Cop cars screeching after dead-eye boys in half-inch motors who are savouring their adrenaline hit at 120 in a built-up area. Overhead, the surveillance chopper buzzes like some great fly. Its spotlight shines into my skylight, makes me think, half asleep, that the aliens are landing. Oh, God, I wish they were. I truly and sincerely wish some vast, cyber-organic, luminous mothership full of weird devices and the knowledge resulting from infinite millenniums of impartial study would land in my back garden, so the distant vaporous beings that pilot it could show me the codes of life and death, all etched in glowing, unearthly script that would burn understanding into my cells forever as soon as my terrified, savage eyes fell upon it. Me, a frail champion of this tottering civilization, I could return to the bosom of the world saying, "You see? It's easy. All we have to do is..." whatever it might be. And suddenly, everyone would know that dolphins are really angels, that trees can speak, that corn circles are extraterrestrial shorthand for leave these crazy earthlings well alone, mate. And we'd all stop hacking each other up and whining about the price of computer games. And sometimes I sit in my poxy little house, in my poxy little town in the wide, forgotten, windswept north, and wish for it to happen so hard it makes me cry with rage. Wish those intergalactic gypsies would just come and take me away from all of this. Before Mother Gaia takes her bat home and blows us all away, leaving this blue and unspeakably beautiful planet to the cockroaches, who couldn't do a worse job. And for us sad and sorry humans, it will be game over. Game over. Game sodding well over.
Jules with prayer. I think Reg would have liked that if he'd still been here, wouldn't he? Certainly. Oh, a round of applause from Rollo outside.
Thank you, Rollo.
Rollo Moffling. Okay. The Trogs were brilliant, though, weren't they? Not saying that you.
The Trogs.
There was a transcendental experience watching the Trogs.
Just come down here to hear that. I'm a happy woman.
That's right, as we said. Yeah, a lot of people gone away happy after that. Right, Jules, thanks very much. And you're on when tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the cabaret tent.
In the cabaret tent, okay. Yes. On Sunday night, it's Johnny Cash. Near the end now, and here we are. Still, it's getting very cold actually, and filling up with more and more tents and caravans and dormobiles and all those things with the accordion in the roof there, and chemical toilets spilling out all over the floor.
And the moon is full, Mark. It's a full moon.
The moon is full. It's a glorious moon.
Spooky malooky.
It really is. Rollo Moffling, Archdruid of the Glastonbury sect, is still here. I mean, is this a sort of happening time of year for you? Is it in the outdoors with the full moon and everything?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And we've got drum workshops going all over the site now to building up, to going up to the big stone circle at the top of the hill for this full moon tonight and the next few nights, and 7:30 on Saturday night. Be enormous drum workshop, best drummers on the site from all over the world gathered up there then.
Right, okay. Do you spend the festival on the site? I mean, have you got any druid services going on? Or?
Oh, yes, we are, yes. I'm pulled in on a trailer under the trees at the top of the hill up there, and drum workshops all round the place. It seems to be a big year for that this year.
Right, okay. Well, that's Rollo Moffling, Archdruid of the Glastonbury sect. What about you, Katie? What are you looking forward to most over the weekend?
Well, I'm going to be sampling some more catering, I think, and I'm going to probably go on some kind of trip, I think. An internal trip, and it'll probably have to do with eating too much sugar. And I've got my eye on some of those snow cones. Have you seen those cotton candy flavored snow cones? Anyway, you might have to talk me down, Mark.
Right, okay, yeah. The virtual reality as well, I think. You could do with some of that, I was too. What about you, Jules? Are you going to stay and see any other acts, or are you just going to do your own bit and then go?
No, I'm going to go and see Jar Wobble.
Oh, right, yeah. When's
he used to make records with him, and he's on some point. It's in the programme, I don't know. You can look it up.
Absolutely.
I see Wobble and see all the dancers and see everything like that, and go on the gyroscope and jump off something, and I don't know.
Right, okay.
The usual stuff.
There's a cherry picker. Don't forget what, mate? The Sons of Arca on
Sunday.
On Sunday, right.
On Sunday.
Don't forget that. Okay, right. You turned up just at the right moment, didn't you? You got that in. Right, we're going to have a record of special significance, and then we'll start winding down. This is David Bowie from Space Oddity, A Memory of a Free Festival. We touch the very soul of holding each and every life. We claim the very source of joy ran through. It didn't, but it seemed that way. I kissed a lot of people that day. Nice one. Get snogging. Pucker up Glastonbury tomorrow, 'cause here I come. Right, that's more or less it. Thanks to the team, Cheese, Liz, Lard, who got sick and never made it out to the toilet all day, but came with the best intentions, I'm sure. Also to our engineers, Paul Reed and Andy Leslie. Claire Sturgis is coming up next, so stay tuned for that. If you're on your way to Glastonbury, then I hope you enjoy it. If you're already here, I hope you enjoy it, and you can hear bits of it on Radio 1 over the weekend, if you're not going, so fine. Okay. Oh, anyway, I'm going to turn in for the night now, so I think I'll just get me tent unpacked and everything, and it should be all right. So, all right, lad, you still here?
Hiya, Mark.
Yeah, where are you staying tonight? I mean, I'm glad I brought my little one-man tent and sleeping bag dead cosy. And
I'm stopping with you, Arkid. One-man tent, you get two in there. There's room for two in there, one on top.
I don't think so.
You're right, no problem. Go on, let me stay with you.
No,
Lord. Go on, come on. I've got nothing to do. I've got nowhere to go.
All right, well, you'll have to snuggle right in then.
All right, fair enough. Well, that's nice, isn't it? It's cold in here, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, that's better. Pity Claire Sturgis in there, isn't it?
Oh, I'm sure she feels well off where she is. Claire, you've got nothing to... terrible. Terrible. Oh, anyway, shut up. Right, I'm going to sleep. Right.
The earliest description of a prolapsed invertebral
Lard,
cartilage.
shut up with the facts. You're
by
interesting.
George S. Middleton and John H. Teacher of Glasgow,
Lard,
Scotland.
shut up.
1911. It's warming up, isn't it?
Lard, shut up.
See you again. The intensity of noise or sound is measured in terms of pressure.
Lord, will you shut up? I'm trying to sleep!
Mark Radcliffe, missing you already.